ABC. Meanwhile, on this New Year's morning wake-up call, courtesy of the Miami Hurricanes Radio Network.
Handoff, round, driving, into the end zone, touchdown Miami. There's a hurricane party in Arlington.
And Marty Brown makes the Buckeyes go boo-hoo-hoo.
Statement win for the Hurricanes as they advance to college football's Final Four. And look who's up early with us on this New Year's morning. Sir Paul Finebaum is with us getting set for this huge day. But before we look ahead, Paul, we look back. What's your number one takeaway from Miami's somewhat surprising win over Ohio State last night?
Greeny, I was shocked how Miami bullied Ohio State. We really haven't seen that all year. We saw, them struggle against Indiana, but I think we just got a false sense of security about Ohio State starting back with a game against Arch Manning in Texas because they were so dominant and then they really were not challenged again. And you just have to wonder what happened to this team. Did they lose an edge? And because they were ineffective in the Big Ten championship game. And last night, they just did not look like the same team that so many people, including myself, after Texas went down, had declared as almost invincible, Greeny.
Yeah, it looked like a month ago, and then the loss to Indiana, and then the loss last night, and away it goes. So let's turn our attention then to the three games today and get picks from Paul before he gets rolling for the day. What is your prediction? We'll do the games in order. Let's start with Oregon and Texas Tech. What's your prediction for that game this afternoon?
I'm keeping my eye on Dante Moore because I think he is so dynamic. Now, he needs to get protected. Obviously, Texas Tech is a ferocious defense. But if he can be protected, and Indiana just destroyed him, if you remember a couple of months ago, he was sacked, he was intercepted. If that line can hold on, I think Texas Tech is going to get stymied, and I like Oregon to win this game.
Once again, Oregon has played in this playoff, and the break there for Texas Tech maybe not working in their favor. The night game tonight, Ole Miss and Georgia, right in your backyard there, obviously, an SEC game. Who do you like?
Yeah, it's all about somebody who's not going to be on the field, but he will be in a luxury box, and that's Lane Kiffin. What effect is Lane Kiffin being gone from this team? You really couldn't tell it, Greeny, against Tulane because that was such an easy matchup for them, but this is much more difficult. Kiffin played a big factor when Georgia went down, but I think the difference is going to be no Lane Kiffin. Charlie Weiss Jr. is a good offensive coordinator, but he's not Lane Kiffin.
And then in the middle, the granddaddy of them all at the Rose Bowl, it's Bama and Indiana. What's your prediction?
Yeah, I may be the only person who still believes in the Crimson Tide, and I know what everybody has said, and I agree. They were missing in action for 5 quarters, but I feel like they're going to be back today, and I wonder if we didn't see a preview last night, is this layoff going to affect Indiana? It certainly may have affected Ohio State, and I think it's going to be a factor today as the Tide ekes out a victory.
We've talked about that already briefly this morning, and we'll spend some more time on it. Again, the 25 days between games for these teams. Joey, you're there in Los Angeles. You were telling us yesterday that the Indiana fans are everywhere. Now we have reached game day. How, if Alabama is going to pull what would be a fairly substantial upset today, in your view, how would they do it?
Well, number one, it's still raining. It was raining all day yesterday. It is raining really hard right now. So the weather could very well be a factor in this game. It's pretty crazy out here, the amount of time that it's been raining. The field is tarped, and we're hoping that it stops before game time, but who knows. But when you're looking at Alabama, and we keep saying they need to run the ball, it's just not them. I think Ty Simpson needs to get comfortable, sort of like Carson Beck did in the game against Ohio State. If Ty Simpson can get comfortable, start making the plays to move the chains, not carry the team, not these huge plays, just make plays to move the chains early in the game. I think that Alabama has a chance. We know Indiana's excited to be here. We know Indiana's had a tremendous season. Every step of the way for them is something new, and they're excited to be in this game. Alabama's used to these situations. They have to take that pressure, bring their defense, and get some key stops and just get Ty Simpson rolling.
Yeah, Ty Simpson, I think, is the key to this game. I've had many people say that, with Mendoza on one side and then Jordan Rogers, Ty Simpson on the other. You've got tape. What's the biggest challenge for him this afternoon?
Yeah, it's when to be aggressive and when to, like Joey said, just get the ball out of your hands and make the easy throw, because they're going to have Ty Simpson make chunk plays to win this game. And here's a great example against Oklahoma. They're going to bring an all-out pressure. They're bringing the safety from the third level here. He's going to try to hit a double move wheel route down the sideline with a corner over the top. Not the time to be aggressive. Hit your hot right. You got a tight end sitting right there, a little short of the sticks. Give him the ball, let him catch and run. Not the time to be aggressive. Later in the game on a fourth down, this is actually the perfect look to hit this corner route for a touchdown. This is what quarterbacks love to see, but there's going to be pressure off the left side. So instead of taking the chance and throwing the corner route one-on-one, he's going to throw hot. The ball comes out really quick. The guy doesn't have a chance to get to him, the pressure guy, and he actually ends up having a touchdown because Latsier Brooks makes somebody miss and gets in the end zone. Now, when the look is perfect and you have a four-man rush and Indiana's not pressuring you, this is when Ty has to be aggressive. This is the right moment. Four-man rush, they rolled a one high. You have a deep corner route to the left side in one-on-one coverage. Exactly what you want to see. This is when you can hold on to the football. This is when you can be a little bit greedy, and that's what he did later in the game against Oklahoma. This is going to have to be the Ty Simpson today against Indiana. This passing game accounts for 71% of their offense. By far more than any other playoff team, they depend on the pass. They're not going to magically start running the football. Don't care if it's raining. Can Ty Simpson get the ball out of his hands quickly when they're pressuring? Because they will. And then hold onto the ball and hit those chunk plays when it's advantageous for him to do so. That'll be the biggest part of this game.
The great things about this college football playoff is that, I mean, Paul and I are old enough to remember that for 100 years in this sport, you would just, they would play the bowl games, and then the AP and UPI would decide who the champion was, and we'd say, boy, I wonder what would happen if Ty Simpson got to play against Indiana's defense. Now we're actually going to find it out. Harry, what's your preview today?
Well, I will say, when I'm looking at Indiana, I think a lot of people are underestimating them. They're one of the most balanced football teams in the country. They can run it. They have a two-headed monster or three-headed monster in the backfield. I like the three wide receivers that they have as well. Charlie Becker's a guy that stepped up in the Big Ten championship game when Omar Cooper Jr. was out. But I think when you look at this defense, the way they have been able to get takeaways, in which they're top 10 in the country right now, sack the quarterback, top 10 in the country. There are three linebackers. When you look at Hardy, Aiden Fisher, and Isaiah Jones, those three guys are going to be key in this matchup.
Joey, I have to let you get set for College Game Day. I'll give you the final word on today's action. What are you looking forward to most?
Well, I thought I felt pretty good about Indiana winning. I thought I felt pretty good about Georgia winning. I thought I felt pretty good about Texas Tech winning. But then Ohio State losing. Now we're 0 for 5 in teams that have had the bye. I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel now. I'm going to stick with the games I picked already. I think that Indiana gets a win. I think that Texas Tech gets a win, and I think Georgia gets a win. But boy, I don't feel good about it.
All right, Joey Galloway, good enough again. Back-to-back days to get up super early with full days ahead of you. And this is what Joey has to look forward to. It is raining in Pasadena. Here's a look at the Rose Bowl right now. Once again, we are expecting, or at least the forecasts I've seen suggest that it should let up before the game begins. Kickoff is still many, many hours away, so we'll certainly hope that the game isn't played in the rain, but it'll be played either way. Joey, thanks a million, and we're looking forward to game day with you and the crew coming up at the top of the hour. Meanwhile, we will have a further conversation